Hello there, science, and welcome back. So this is one of our first lessons, and you're going to be learning everything you need to know about 7th grade science. So everything you're going to need to know about my class, you will find here. So let's get started. So just some agenda. First, we're going to go over class rules, grading policy, classwork and classwork procedures, our interactive notebook, homework, and extra credit, and some important documentation. So for the purpose of this class, our rules are to make sure everyone feels safe and welcome. And in this class, in this room, we are all scientists, we are all capable, and we are all smart. In this class, we are all science. So what does it mean to be science? Well, it means we support our fellow students. If they need help, we step up and we help them because we know if we needed help, we would want the same. We come to class on time, prepared, and ready to learn. We are involved in the learning experience, and this is especially important as we go through digital learning. We expect the best of ourselves, our classmates, and our teacher. We don't give any excuses. We are responsible for ourselves and our actions. We continue to try because failure is proof that we are trying, and trying is the most important thing. And our eyes and ears are always open and listening. So our grading scale and our grading policy. This grading scale is going to be used just during virtual learning. It will change when we see each other face to face, and hopefully that is soon. So our assessments are going to be worth 40%. Those are our large unit tests that are going to be spaced apart. They're not going to be every week. Classwork, homework, distance learning assignments will be worth 40%. Quizzes are worth 10%. Those will be about every week, so be prepared. And your participation is 10%. And that participation is how you interact on Zoom. Are you on time? Are you doing things appropriately? Are you actually working on the assignments you should be working on and pulling your weight in our breakout groups? Revisions. Any classwork, homework, or distance learning assignment can be revised, and you can receive up to 100% for revising work that was turned in on time. If you revise an assignment, you need to make sure you fill out the revision ticket, and that is found in Google Classroom. And it should be on the stream in Google Classroom. So our Google Classroom versus our virtual classroom. So our Google Classroom is accessed via your CUSD email, and you will use the Google Classroom to submit assignments and to check your grades that you've submitted there. This is in addition to the Student Connect, and that's where your official grades will be. Your Google Classroom is more of a locker in terms of that's where a lot of your assignments are going to be. Now, our virtual classroom is more of our hub. This is where you're going to go if you need links, if you need to get to a certain video. You're going to more than likely find it in the virtual classroom. And I'm going to show you where you can access that in a minute. Not only does the virtual classroom have fun videos, but it does give you a jumping off point to reach other things. There will be links to our ISN, our agendas, our current unit, the scientist of the week, and it can be found via my website or by saving that following link, that you see right there, that tiny URL. If you type that into your web browser, make sure to bookmark it. That way it's always right there and you can go straight to it and you will see it. So I'm going to show you really quick what it looks like. So here is my website. This is through the Alta Sierra website, and this is the virtual classroom. So pretty much everything here you can click on. Everything's going to link to something. Right now, it's mostly funny videos because we haven't really gone into a lot. But if you click on the current unit, it's going to bring you to our virtual learning classroom, and there you'll be able to access all the videos that have to do with virtual learning. For example, right now, if you click this scientific method box, it's going to bring you to a video about the scientific method. Science builds the future. That's where you're going to find your scientist of the week. Class rules will bring you actually to the presentation I'm showing you right now. The calendar will link to our class calendar. The Zoom links to our Zoom, Google Classroom, Student Connect, and Clever. So most everything's gonna have a link. So check out the links. A lot of them are funny videos, especially my pop figurines. I have my current reading list up there, so you'll be able to see just about everything you need to see. So we're coming back into the presentation, so give it a second. So late work. Give me a second to move me so I'm not over top of that. So you will have until the unit test to turn in any late work. Late work is automatically only going to be worth up to 70%, which means you cannot get higher than a 70. Now, if you still have questions wrong, you're going to get those points taken off. So 70 is the highest you can get. You will also be required to fill out a form with each item of late work. Those forms, again, on Google Classroom, but they're also on the website as well. So let's go back really quick. You're going to click Important Documents. And this is, again, my Google site that is on the Alta Sierra website. We have our grade check form, our late work form, and our revision work form. And you can fill them all out right here and just click Submit. I will not grade late work or revised work unless you put in a form. All right, so grade check. You and your parents should be checking your grade book through Student Connect or Parent Connect every week. The grade book is updated at least once a week, but our policy does say bi-weekly, so if it's 9 days, be patient, we'll get to it. And while I try to create items as quickly as possible, please give me at least 48 hours before requesting a grade or an update on a grade. The grade check form is more to check what kind of missing work you have that I show you have versus what you have. It's a way of getting a progress report. Again, we're all human. I do have a life outside of school. I know it's silly, but I do. I have a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old. She goes nuts. So the weekends, I don't always spend my entire weekend grading. If you need a grade right away because you're right on that cusp and, oh, mom and dad said I can, go out with my friends this weekend if I got an A on the test, let me know and I'll try to grade your test first and send you an update. But again, that should be through the grade check. That's the only way you'll get an update. So classwork. I really should have made all these on the same side, shouldn't I? Because it's hard to read. Because for some reason, this doesn't want to move. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go back. There we go. All right, so classwork. Most of your classwork is going to be completed in your ISN or in your workbook. You should have gotten those when you came to pick up your textbooks and everything else from school. If you do not have either one as of today, as you're going through this presentation, make sure you contact the school and get them. Unless I have made an announcement saying, hey, everybody, you need to make sure you have those, especially before the end of this week. Workbooks will be graded through Google Classroom submissions. So what I will do is I'll create an assignment. I'll have a Google Doc pulled up that will automatically put your name in, and you will attach pictures of what you've done in the workbook if I ask for grading. So please watch the videos and follow the instructions for how to submit assignments. After this, you will watch a quick video about how to kind of go through Google Classroom, so make sure you watch that. Weekly agendas can be found on the Google Classroom and our virtual classroom. If you missed anything, check there first because I have a list of what things we did in our ISN and what our assignments were. So practice. Right now you're going to practice. So you're going to head to Google Classroom and you're going to practice submitting an assignment. The assignment name is Welcome to Science Practice. It is under your classwork. What it's going to ask you to do is just find your favorite meme, and it needs to be school appropriate. You're going to copy the meme into the document and submit the document. I'm not going to tell you really how to do it. You really need to try to get in and do some trial and errors on it. Make sure you watch the Google Classroom video as well if you get stuck. You should be doing this during our Zoom meeting. So if you have any questions, raise your hand and I will answer them in Zoom. All right, so science starters. We discussed the science starters in one of our other discussions about online etiquette, but let's go into them a little bit more. So in addition to your daily work in your ISN and in your workbook, you're going to be completing what's called a science starter. Each week, there will be a sheet on Google Classroom where you will answer the daily starters, and these will be turned in Friday. So you can go in and edit, but don't turn it in until Friday or Thursday, whenever your last class of the week is. Starters will be up for the first 5 minutes of the class. They cannot be made up unless you have an excused absence or tardy. If you just show up late because you were late, you're going to get a 0 for that day on that science starter. Science starters are part of the classwork, but they're not going to be worth hundreds of points. So if you miss one day, it's okay, especially here at the beginning. Email me if you do need to make up a science starter. Again, if you're going to be tardy, if you're going to be absent and it's excused, I need to know ahead of time. Starters are going to start next week. Our first class on Monday, they will be started. You will need to have the starter sheet open and ready to go when class starts. Again, the starter worksheet can be found in Google Classroom under assignments. Now, what I recommend doing, you can either have it open and work on it on your computer, or just grab a scrap sheet of paper and answer the questions. Then when class is over, you can go back in and you can answer the questions in the starter sheet on Google Classroom. It's up to you how you do it. That's just a little tip. So your interactive science notebooks. These are going to be provided to you. You should, again, have already gotten them when you picked up your other textbooks and workbook. You're going to be utilizing these to take notes, put your important documents in, and study for our unit tests. I will have both a digital and a physical copy of what your ISN should look like. The digital copy can be found on our virtual classroom. It will not be found in Google Classroom, only through our virtual classroom. If you still need help finding it, or you say, oh, Miss Wilson, for some reason it's not opening for me, what goes on page 6? Email me. ISN checks will be completed digitally and submitted via Google Classroom, similar to how your workbook checks are. You'll have a document, you will copy and paste photos in, and then submit it. Your Science Starter page also has a list of what is in your ISN for the week. So each day on that Science Starter page, you will write down what went where. And this is just to make sure you know there are multiple ways to figure out what went where in your ISN. So make sure to watch the ISN video using your HyperDocs. It's listed there, but do not skip it. It's really important. And keep an eye on the announcements of your Google Classroom for any updates. So if there's an update saying, hey, instead of it going on page 10, we're now going to move it to page 12, which will rarely happen, but I will put updates there in the announcements as well as the digital copy. So homework and extra credit. I don't want to cut off SpongeBob. You're rarely going to have assigned homework. Homework to me is just things you did in class that you did not get to finish. So Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday classes are going to be 90 minutes. If you had an assignment and we said, okay, you have the whole class, it's a breakout group type thing, and you don't finish, you're going to be expected to finish that on your own time, just like you would with regular classwork if we were in person. Since you don't have homework, and most of you should finish your classwork in class, you should spend about 30 minutes a day reviewing what we learned in class that day. So your Scientist of the Week is your option for extra credit. Each week, a new scientist will be posted in Google Classroom, but also through the virtual classroom. You're going to create a Flipgrid about that Scientist of the Week, and there are directions in the Scientist of the Week. That will be your extra credit. These are due at the start of the new week, so on Sunday night. So for example, right now, our first one about Mary Leakey is up. That will be due Sunday night. You cannot submit it after that. I have Flipgrid set up, so it will not take your video after that. So please understand, if you miss it, you miss it. Go ahead and do the second week. So you have a week to do it, and it's really simple. It's most of the time you're going to have a video to watch, an article to read, and there's like a quote or maybe a second article, and then you create a Flipgrid that's about 2 minutes. It's not hard extra credit. It's really easy. So important note-taking and annotating. All right, come on. I don't like having to move myself around on this. Again, when I make my new presentations, I make sure they all stay to one side. So important info about note-taking and annotating. In class, we're going to be using something called focus notes, which are also called Cornell notes. And these are to help us out with our studies. You will take these notes directly in your ISN or on a sheet of paper and then paste it in your ISN. That's what I recommend. And the notes will be graded, so you do need to follow the focus or Cornell note layout. And there is a template on your Google Classroom. We will be annotating quite often in class, so you're going to find a key to help you annotate in your ISN. Those are going to be submitted for grading as well. Just like with the classwork and the ISN, you're going to take pictures and submit it. So you're going to have a video to watch about how to take Cornell notes, and you're going to have a video about how to do annotation. Make sure you're watching them because they are part of your assignment. So a CER. CER stands for Claim, Evidence, and Reasoning. It is the new scientific method. It's not saying the scientific method has gone away. It's just a different way of doing it. It's a little more involved. So science as a whole is based on these three ideas, that you have a claim, you find evidence to support the claim, and then you do reasoning behind it. At the end of every unit, or potentially at the end of every small little chapter, scope, we're going to be doing a CER to help you practice. The first couple ones we're going to do as a class or breakout groups, and then you're going to be expected by the time the unit test rolls around to do one by yourself. There is going to be a CER video, so make sure you watch it too. So these videos and important information you're going to watch. There is a Google Classroom, navigation and tips video, a notes and annotation video, an ISN video, and a CER video. As always, if you have any questions, email me immediately. I can't help if I don't know what the problem is. Email me anytime, email me. I will try to answer it within a couple hours, but if I don't answer it, say just to you, I may answer it the next day if you're going to be in Zoom class with me, and it's something everybody needs to know. So just be aware of that. There's my email again, samanthawilson@clovisusd.k12.ca.us. And here are the credits. Again, any questions, feel free to email me, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.